Hoy there, it's Skyward Shield. Welcome to Football Talks. We are done with Week 9 and moved on to Week 10. I am joined by the great Bill. Say hello, Bill. A lot
Hey!
of teams were on byes this week. 6 teams, including Bill's team, and the Bills. So,
Oh
a
man.
lot. So there were 3 less games than we could have had. So this was a short week, but lots of good games, really, except
Same
for except for
same as
one.
and this week is also a short week as well.
Yep, a lot of more teams are going on byes, which this week will go for the Patriots, the Texans, and other teams, I think like the Chargers, that I don't care about.
Yep. Other assorted teams that really are decent but not great.
Yeah, but these matchups are good. Like, as much as I want to talk about the Dolphins taking care of business at their place, I really wanted to see the greatest game ever played from 1981-82 with that Dolphins Chargers game. But no, it was just a complete shutout. But anyway, we're going to move on to the 3 games that we were going to talk about since Detroit didn't had a bye this week, so they did not play. And next week Houston won't play, so we won't mention them. First matchup is Arizona at Dallas. Lots of big games in Dallas, and this was the highlighted one.
Yep.
So Arizona pretty much took care of business like it was their place. I wouldn't have been surprised if there were more Arizona fans than Dallas. Brandon Weeden was so roughed up, he was so inaccurate, and I wonder how bad his passer rating was. But the pass was blocked, and they stuffed DeMarco Murray. He got a couple of good runs, but his streak of 100+ yards is over.
Yep.
So, Bill, share your thoughts on this game.
I I re really what they should have done and what they should have done is play action pass at the very beginning of the game. Fake like you're running to DeMarco and kind of get that defense off the line of scrimmage. If you keep play action passing, you're going to fake the defenders out, and then you can go deep or throw an intermediate or anything. But they didn't really do much of that. What they did at the beginning of the game was they did what they've been doing over the entire course of the year, and has been running the football. But with 2 caveats. They aren't blocking as well, and 2, they don't have Tony Romo in there. So, I mean, once you have no threat of the pass game, you can load up the box and just start rushing everybody. And the other thing is that the offensive line really, really needs to gel again very fast because this Jaguar, who they're gonna be playing this week coming up, the Jaguars' defense is not to be fooled with. Those are young kids. They want to go in and beat a first place team, but seriously, that offensive line needs to really gel, or they are in some major, major, major trouble because the Cowboys' defense was out there way too long, and Arizona started really eating them alive.
Yep, and Peterson, who I forget his first name, was really able to contain Dez Bryant, and like I said before, they stuffed the run well. I don't want to go and blame the quarterback because really blaming one player unless he did that game-ending
It
interception or fumble,
it
then
was
I would blame everybody here.
it was a whole team effort to suck that badly, and they sucked badly. That was one of the worst performances of probably the last 2 years for the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm just putting it on just the actual offensive line. Their quarterback. I mean, seriously, when you're getting rushed every down, you might. I mean, he's only human. He's gonna make mistakes. You gotta. What was really bothering me was watching Pro Bowl players on the sideline throwing temper tantrums. Jason Witten,
Dez
Des
Bryant, of
Bryant,
course, but that's a
all of
given
them.
at this point.
All of them throwing temper tantrums over there on the sideline. If you don't like it so much, do something about it. Do something about it. Go onto the field and knock someone on their ass. Assert your will. Don't sit there and cry and whine on the sideline. Oh, Brandon Whedon's in there. No, go in there and do it. Don't just sit there and whine on the sideline. Do it.
I don't even have much thoughts to this because I was actually trying to listen in on the Texans game. What I saw, they tried to pressure Carson Palmer, and for some times it worked. They got a good amount of sacks on him, which was surprising for the Cowboys' defensive line. But I mean, pressure. I mean, they pressured the quarterback well enough, but the secondary was just, oh, he wasn't doing much. Andre Ellington, proving he's the more worthy rusher in this game, got a touchdown, I believe. He ran in for one.
Yeah, he ran in for a touchdown. He was catching passes out of the backfield. He was doing everything. That's another thing I've noticed this year with the Cowboys. They are not passing the DeMarco Murray out of the backfield nearly as many times as they should.
Yeah, that's what. But I mean, they're gonna have to figure it out by London since they're already in London by now, and that's this week's game, and like what you say, shouldn't take the Jacksonville Jaguar defense lightly. Blake Bortles is gonna have the all eyes on him, not just from America, but now as well
They're
as people in the UK.
they're if the Dallas Cowboys take the Jacksonville Jaguars lightly, they are going to get beat and they are going to get humiliated by the Jaguars. That defense can play. I know that the Jaguars defense is ranked in the lower part of the league, but Brandon Whedon is not going to set the world on fire. They need to figure it out on the offensive line. They need to figure it out and get DeMarco Murray open. You cannot let your running back suffer.
Yep. So this is their third loss now. So Bill, do you think they're on their way to another 8-8 season?
I I I felt like they should have been in this tailspin a little while ago. They weren't really playing well in that Seattle game, really. To be honest, they should have lost that Seattle game. They should have lost a few of those games.
They should have lost to Houston because if they kept running, would have been a touchdown.
Exactly. The Cowboys defense is overrated. It is overrated and it's getting exposed and literally I mean seriously the Cowboys defense really needs DeMarco and Tony and all of them to disguise them because I feel if they get into the playoffs with the defense as it is right now, and if they somehow get in with Brandon Whedon as their quarterback, they'll be bounced out in the first round.
Oh yeah, it won't even matter who's playing them. But another thing, I think they say Romo is likely to play. They're probably going to force him to play on against Jacksonville because they need that win. If they lose to Jacksonville of all teams, oh, there goes that hope of getting into the playoffs. This is a game you cannot lose because if you lose this game, it will bite you. Because let's be real, they're not likely to win against the Eagles one match. I think they could beat them at Thanksgiving, but on that Sunday night game, 2 weeks later, literally 2 weeks later, they are going to have some trouble. So for Jacksonville, they need to play like they have to play this next game like it's a win or go home because it will haunt them.
It the division is gonna be more wide open because everyone in that division practically is missing their quarterback except for one team, and that team is the Giants, and that team continues to lose all the time.
Yep, they've had their fair share of injuries. They lost Victor Cruz. I think they've lost some defensive players, but I'm not too sure. My other problem with Dallas is that I know I'm so talkative about this guy, but you've had to get rid of Michael Sam. Come on, the guy's a sack machine. He's proven his worth in college, and I understood if you put him in practice camp for a year and then or the practice squad and then brought him in next year, you would have had you're pretty much your new DeMarcus Ware. And I know they got DeMarcus Lawrence back, but come on, you shouldn't just pressure the quarterback. You need a guy who also needs to hit him and knock him back or just straight up sack him, because hitting the quarterback so much times really puts even more pressure, and that roughed up feeling
I'm
can lead
putting
to interceptions.
I'm putting it this way. The Dallas Cowboys need all the help they can get on defense, and one more player is better than having a bunch of offensive players, because right now the Cowboys defense is going to get exposed. I feel like if they played the Philadelphia Eagles or any of those other teams right now, they would almost surely lose, because one, they can't handle the Eagles' fast-paced offense. Two, the Eli Manning still is Eli Manning. And three, the Washington football team has a quarterback that can run around. I know that he's not one of the great quarterbacks, but he can still run around and cause you some havoc. And if he gets loose on the Cowboys, I mean, they're not really super disciplined against that sort of stuff. I shudder to think what could happen in Dallas. I seriously, literally, this division could go 9-7. With all the injuries in this division can go 9-7 very easily.
Yeah, but hey, it's way better than the NFC South. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the Saints winning with like a 7-9 record.
But that's for
Yeah,
later.
that's for our playoff picks. That's what we're talking about this week, playoff picks, like we promised. Anyway, so speaking of the Eagles, let's move on to Philadelphia at Houston, another big battle in Texas. Texans fall to the Eagles 31-21. All those points were scored due to turnovers. In fact, the first touchdown was a pick six thanks to A.J. Boye off of Nick Foles.
Yep.
And really, aside from all those points scored from turnovers, all were scored from turnovers, or thanks to them. The offense could not get going at all. And that was really terrible.
Especially against a very terrible Philadelphia secondary. Literally, the Philadelphia secondary is one of the worst against the pass, and they made Ryan Fitzpatrick look really bad.
And then Mark Sanchez comes in taking over. I won't lie, I've liked Mark Sanchez when he was with the Jets, but that toe injury did him in, and I thought it was kind of a mistake as well. Geno Smith has definitely not been the answer. Michael Vick, not an answer either. So I won't be surprised if Mark Sanchez plays the way he did, minus those turnovers, because really, the thing was, when you look at these statistics and you see the 3 turnovers, you would think, did Houston like barely lose to these guys? No, they lost by 10 points. And at the fourth quarter, how long was that final Eagles drive? 8 minutes?
Yeah, it was something.
They tore a page out of the Dallas Cowboys playbook and just ran the ball and milked that clock.
Yep, that's all. But that's what the Eagles need to do. But getting back to Houston itself is going to be in even more trouble, because their most consistent offensive threat, Arian Foster, got hurt.
They say there's no okay, they've had other injuries, like both sides, they lost, like Eagles lost Nick Foles he to something about his neck or collarbone. He's out for a month. Then they lost their linebacker for the whole year because of an Achilles tear or something, I forget. Something about the Achilles.
Yeah, it was an ACL tear.
Yeah. So he's out for the season, but this game was so physical and lots of injuries to key players. Jonathan Joseph might be out for a while because of a concussion, but thankfully there's the bye right now, so it'll ease it up. And then who else got injured? I think it was just him and Arian Foster. Arian Foster is saying a groin injury.
Those red uniforms, the blood of many injuries. Oh God. I mean, it was a bloodbath of injuries in that game. I mean, seriously, there a lot of people did not return to the game after they got hurt in that game. That was just a brutal, brutal game. Old school football where it was just two heavy duty hitting teams hitting each other over and over and over again.
But I'm honestly just I'm I am really hoping Arian Foster sticks around because as much as I like Blue and I believe in him,
Yeah.
I don't think he's ready to start leading a game because we saw what happened when he tried leading a game against the Giants. They could not get it run. They could not get it going, and everything just went downhill from there.
Yep.
But I mean, it's if there's no Foster, there's no wins. That's pretty much how it is. But I can't remember who else got injured, and that's bothering me because it wasn't just Arian Foster, and it was two secondary players.
Hmm.
But I am not. I don't want. I'm trying to check, but I'm like, fuck it. I don't want to get too distracted.
Right.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
yeah, with no Foster, no win, pretty much, because that's what keeps them competitive. The running of the football.
yep. And nothing against Blue, but I don't think he can run the football like Arian Foster. Arian Foster is on a whole different planet, you know. And I think Blue can develop into that
Yeah, that's why I
with
said he's
time.
not ready. I see that he has those moments where he can run well. I mean, I've seen with most games. Every game, there's usually like a good plus 10, plus 20 yard run from him. So it
He's
shows that he's got it. You just need time for him to develop and just be better at getting past other players.
he's showing those flashes of greatness.
Yeah, and that's good because it's showing that even going up against these tough teams, he can find ways to get past them. That's why I said he's a keeper. I think he's a keeper. Like he's what's the word? Protege to Arian Foster. Is that the right word I'm thinking of or looking for?
He's
He's gonna take over once
yeah,
Foster goes
he's the protege to
to Foster.
Arian Foster, the master.
Yeah, that's like basically this game. This Texans team should be centered on the run as we've said, but
I'm the only person that did well in the passing game, DeAndre Hopkins. That was the only person that, and eventually they're just gonna double cover DeAndre and leave Andre Johnson single covered because
I'm
I,
okay with that. You can double cover Hopkins, but he's playing. I wouldn't say Megatron tier, but those jumps, though, that's getting there. That's
I'm
close enough.
I think Andre Johnson has lost a step, and
He's
losing a step is one thing. What Andre Johnson is though is he's an amazing route runner. So I think he's gonna need to, instead of trying to focus on trying to outrun people anymore, he's gonna need to start focusing on running really crisp, hard hitting routes. Just stop on a dime. You know, get get to your spot and then just do some curl routes, 10-yard curls. Just keep doing that. That way you give Ryan Fitzpatrick something to throw at because Ryan Fitzpatrick, I'm going to put it this way, he's a decent quarterback. He's never been great, he's never been horrible. He's just a middle of the road. He's a typical backup quarterback. You don't, and that's why he's a backup. He's typical. Starting quarterbacks are atypical. They're above average. You know, they're special. A lot of them are special, like Manning, Brady, Stafford,
Luck,
Luck,
Romo,
Rodgers, Romo,
Kaepernick,
Kaepernick,
Wilson.
Wilson. You can go through all the starting quarterbacks, a lot of them, and say that guy's special. That's why I always feel they're in the game. I feel the Jaguars are in the game because of Bortles. I think he's got that special quality to him.
I think that the Oakland Raiders are in the game too because they have Derek
Derek
Carr.
Carr.
I,
Derek Carr is going to develop into an amazing quarterback. The team that doesn't have an amazing quarterback, the Jets.
yeah,
Geno Smith is Geno Smith is not one of those special quarterbacks. He's an everyday Joe. Mark Sanchez, while being he took teams to the championship game, everyday Joe. But getting back to Houston, I feel that's what Ryan Fitzpatrick is, a everyday Joe and a good backup maybe.
speaking of when you're saying we were talking about Andre Johnson. He was expressing a lot of frustration. Now people are saying are spreading rumors that he might get traded off. But isn't it too late to trade players?
The trading deadline has come and passed.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, right. You're not
It
getting.
might it might be an off-season thing.
Yeah, but I would not trade Andre Johnson. I mean, you got two great wide receivers.
It's
You had a
it
Hall of Famer receiver, and at the rate the other one's going, he looks like he can be in the Hall of Fame too.
it you're only as good as your last season, and Andre Johnson this season is not doing well. But I think it's more a function of the team rather than him, and
Exactly.
I feel like he's not going to be there next year.
I want him to stay, but and so
That's
brings this pegs the question. You're at a bye week, perfect chance to train or get Ryan Mallett ready for the Browns because if you recall, we both predicted the Bengals would beat the Browns. And I think the Bengals are going to destroy the Browns, causing Manziel to step up for the Texans game.
I really don't know about that game. I'm done. Uh, I mean, to be fair, I feel like that's gonna be a close game. Both the Bengals haven't shown me nothing, and their starting running backs hurt with a hip pointer injury.
Ugh. I mean, that I still think that despite that, I'm seeing a lot of good things from Mohamed Sanu. I think he's a good wide receiver.
Sanu, yes. AJ Green being back, yes. Andy Dalton is a decent quarterback. I don't think he's one of those special quarterbacks.
Yeah, but
I
he's.
feel he's a very good
I
quarterback.
think he knows how to work the players around him.
I feel like give him another 2 years and he'll be Alex Smith type special, where he took longer to develop into a special quarterback. Because I feel Alex Smith is a special quarterback. He has that winning attitude, does Alex Smith. I feel Andy Dalton has that. I feel uh, Ryan Fitzpatrick, getting back to the Houston Texans, does not have that winning edge to him, you know?
But do you think Ryan Mallett, who was trained by the Patriots and of course a coach O'Brien, so it won't be as easy to settle him in, or it'll be as easy, I mean.
He's 6'6" and has a cannon. I feel like he would make a perfect quarterback for the Houston Texans.
And even Andre Johnson, was while expressing his frustration,
I
said
mean,
he'd love to see Ryan Mallett. He's seen him and he thinks he's good. But it doesn't matter
I
who
mean,
says it. Even if J.J. Watt said it, doesn't matter. It's the coach's decision.
it, I'm give give him one more week. Give him one more week, and after this week, if the Texans lose, upcoming after their bye, it's gonna be Ryan Mallett.
You know what? You know why I want him to come out because I just have this feeling like it's like the stars formed it up for me. It's like Manziel's coming for the Texans game. Very fitting when you think about it like that. He's gonna play the Texas team when he used to be with Texas A&M.
I I I doubt Manziel's going to start anytime this season.
I have that feeling, but if it happens, that's all more reason for Ryan Mallett because that game will be so unpredictable. Because two new starting quarterbacks, how will it go? That would be such an interesting game for me, and that's why I want Ryan Mallett to start and
The
Manziel.
Browns will not put anyone in if they're 5-4. They're above 500. why would you want to put in a new quarterback if you're 5-4? You're above 500 and you can still make the playoffs. That would be the worst idea because they're still in the race. They're literally like a half game out or a game out.
They just have to beat the Bengals once.
They need to beat the Bengals. If they beat the Bengals, they're tied for the lead in the division.
Then who'd they be tied with? The Steelers?
Indeed.
Oh God. I mean, we'll see. So, any last thoughts? My only other thought is that, God damn it, Bullock, I thought you were improving. You couldn't get a 39-yard field goal in. I think it was 39 yards.
Yeah, it was something short. It wasn't exactly
I mean,
it
wasn't a chip shot, but come on, man, you should be able. I mean, I always knew he always missed above 40, but this was like right below 40. So come on. So I mean, I'm saying it again. I'm hoping next draft to get a good kicker.
Oh man, I really don't have too many thoughts about that game. I got basically everything out that I needed to say about the Houston Texans.
People are really ripping on Clowney because he was sick.
Hey, everyone gets sick. Literally, he's gonna come back and he will play, and nothing's gonna change because they still don't have an offense.
Yeah, I think when Clowney comes back, it's that he will come back for that Browns game. It's going to be interesting.
Instead of people ripping on a guy that's sick, why don't you rip on the quarterback that can't throw the football down the field and find people that are wide open?
Yeah, they won't do that, but good game for Mark Sanchez. I think if he keeps it up, like I said, minus the turnovers, I think he's going to lead above Nick Foles because Nick Foles is turnover heavy too, so he needs to work on that. So let's move on to the final game on our list, the greatest game of this week by far by everyone.
Right.
The Denver Broncos went to the very, very cold Foxborough or Gillette Stadium to play New England in Foxborough.
Correct.
That was, for a while, it was good. It was close.
Yeah, and then the New England Patriots just turned on the afterburners and were like, yeah, I'm out of here. That game just proves why Tom Brady is one of the greatest that has ever played the game. Now listen to these stats after he, in his 200th start. That was his 200th start.
Oh, wow.
His record as a starter, I think, is 160. I think it was 165 victories, and it was 155 victories and 45 losses. 155 and 45. That is the sign of an amazingly gifted, great quarterback, and you can say the same thing about Peyton Manning. The first quarter was really slow, really defensive, and then it just exploded.
Oh, and by the way, I hate to interrupt you, but I found out who the other guy that was injured in the secondary, Kareem Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
He won't come back until week 11.
Ah.
So him and Joseph are out. So yeah, I found out who it was. So continue.
But that first quarter was very slow, and then the two offenses were like, yeah, screw this crap, and just started scoring points. And I mean, it was back and forth for quite a while in that game, and then the Patriots just
they just let Gronk go loose. I am Gronk.
Yeah,
You see that left-handed catch?
He is just on a different planet. He is on a different planet as a wide receiver. He's just
But he's a
scary.
tight end.
I mean, really, tight end is basically a wide receiver that just can't catch a football.
And can block.
So they run block a little bit. I mean, theoretically, wide receivers do too. It's just different title, same basic concept.
They had the combined most passes in NFL history in a single game that didn't go to overtime. I think something like that. Over
Yeah,
110 passes because there was no run game. Absolutely no run game. It
for
was
both
it was just
teams.
yeah, it was just throwing, 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 and
Throw, throw,
Wes
throw, throw.
Wes Welker fucked up for the Broncos in Foxborough again. That pass that he tried to catch too early ended up going into a receiver's or a defensive player's hands, the Patriots, and they took it nearly all the way.
And that's really about that's the always what New England was always saying about Wes Welker is that he dropped passes in the most critical of situations. If you think about the Super Bowl, if he catches one third down pass, that game's over and the Patriots win. Instead they have to punt and give it to the Giants who ultimately score a touchdown. I mean, in the most critical of situations, you cannot count on Wes Welker. And I feel like the Denver Broncos are starting to see that. Emmanuel Sanders got injured.
He came back though, I think.
Yeah, he came back, I'm pretty sure, but he got injured tackling someone. And the Broncos, I still feel like this is the preview of the AFC title game.
Yep, and this was absolutely key for both teams. So,
I mean,
but go on.
I feel like Bill Belichick and them have found a way and showed the league how to stop the Broncos offense. And what's scary is I feel like no one can figure out and crack the Patriots code minus getting at Tom Brady's legs. That's really the only way to stop him.
And that's a flag if you try that.
Yeah, I mean,
but anyway, the other thing, you know what's funny? Last year, even though the Broncos lost that game in Foxborough too, it showed how to beat the Patriots. But now it's the other way around. They showed how to beat the Broncos. So, I mean, I think this pretty much might, as if things go like if they won the rest of their games, I think the Patriots would still have that. They would have that number one seed because they beat the Broncos, right?
right.
So this was such a necessary game, and the Patriots were well aware of that, so they took care of business. But now they're on a bye, a much-needed bye, because guess they're going to play a bunch of great quarterbacks in the coming weeks. So this was needed.
Yeah, the Patriots need that bye. They need to get healthy. And I feel like their upcoming schedule is pretty nasty.
Yeah.
It is not easy at all. They get Indianapolis and then Detroit
And
back to back.
then they got Green Bay, I think.
Yeah, it is a nasty schedule to play through.
Yeah, but that's what you get when you're always going to the playoffs every year.
They always are in first place, so
It makes sense.
I mean, the Patriots overall, and I'm gonna tie this one up with a neat ribbon, is that was a complete, just total team victory. Every phase of the game for the Patriots worked.
They scored every time in the quarter. Or not every,
Yeah.
but I mean like they scored points in each quarter. Good.
They it was balanced. Well, it was balanced in a way where they could get down the field. It was short, medium, and long passing, and basically little bubble screens that acted like runs.
Yeah. Let me see. Who was that guy that got that got a touchdown or two and they returned one in for a punt return? Who was
No
that?
idea. No idea.
Oh,
I didn't
man.
really watch. I watched a little bit of the game. I didn't watch all of it.
Oh man. Bill, please, dude. It was I forget who it was, but that's okay. But that guy, I'll be honest, the one that got those two touchdowns, those two catching ones, and a punt return touchdown, I think he was the MVP of the game. To do
Yeah.
all that and get a punt return for a touchdown is incredible.
obvious.
that's you don't score that many points by yourself. Like
Right.
if you take those points away, Broncos would have been in it. It
Yeah, they would have had a chance. I feel like this game wasn't indicative of what's going to happen in the playoffs. I feel like it's gonna be a defensive struggle. I feel like the two offenses just were too they were both on such a roll coming into this game that literally both defenses had no way of stopping each other.
yeah. The only difference was the turnovers. Those turnovers cost Peyton Manning so much because remember he turned the ball over in the second quarter and that led to a touchdown, I believe. So yeah,
Yeah.
turning the ball over, especially again for Tom Brady's benefit, you don't want to do that. But I think
Never.
I think that's all that needs to be said. But it was just a great game for me. I can't wait for Manning versus Brady 17. That's going to probably happen in the playoffs, but I'm just hoping it's going to be in Foxborough.
Oh man.
But
Yep.
anyway, any other things to note about this before we get to our subject of the week?
Not really. This week was really just a bunch of blowouts, and I mean
Very there were some
there was
brutal
some
games too.
there was some brutal games, but I mean overall, it kind of played out how I thought it would. You know, this is really where all the teams start putting distance between themselves, where they start showing if they're really good or not,
Yeah, like
or
Arizona, who is now 3 games above their second place opponent, I think, or third. The
Arizona's the best team in football.
uh, they got a really mean defense. So Bill, that's why I honestly wanted Detroit to get this time in the at night, but it's just Tom Brady played so well. Dude, of course they're gonna show him playing luck, but anyway, just they are so far ahead from the Seahawks and the 49ers, who are their current threats.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, good for them. I mean, good for them because their coach is doing wonders for them. But the other thing was, did you see how dirty the Ravens played just to try to come back against the Steelers? There was one play where they got 3 flags at once, and they actually messed. They actually, I think, maybe dislocated Ben Roethlisberger's jaw a bit. 'Cause he's trying to fix his mouth. Anyway, they got a defensive holding, a face mask, I think, and a roughing the passer,
Yep.
all at once. I have never
Yep.
seen 3 flags on the same team. That was incredible.
Yeah, that was. I watched part of that game, and yeah, that they were starting to play really dirty, but that's typical AFC North
Yeah,
football
that's a
right there.
bloodbath, but I mean, it wasn't 13-10 like everybody was hoping for. But
Yep.
anyway, that's all that we need to speak of for this week. A great week. I hope you guys watched it because it was wonderful for whatever game you saw. Like the 49ers getting beat by the Rams, which makes me happy. But anyway,
Oh man.
it's time for our subject that I've been waiting for because I've been waiting for this. Play our first go at predicting the playoffs. We're going to be doing these every few weeks or so as the season narrows down. I think Bill, I think we might do this again at like week 15 and then at the final week. Uh,
Yep.
That seems fair because you got 2 more games that are going to make or break a team. So, yeah. What do you want to start with? You said the AFC, right?
Yep. And we're gonna start with the easiest division, the AFC South. The Indianapolis Colts, who are 6-3, Houston Texans 4-5, Tennessee Titans 2-6, or the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are 1-8.
Oh, it's a no-brainer. The Colts are getting in. They've already beaten every team once. They're gonna probably beat them both twice and secure that spot. They've got the easiest division and that sucks, but I mean, hey, at least it's not as bad as the other South side. But we'll get to that later when we flip the scale or whatever. Time
So
to tip the scales. But
the
anyway,
the
next division.
the Indianapolis Colts, I agree, have a definite win of that division. They have too good of an offense, and their defense will come around.
If
All
the
right.
if the Texans beat the Eagles and the Colts lost to the Giants, suddenly they would have been back in it. But I
I
mean, it didn't
feel
happen.
the next one we should do is the AFC West. The Denver Broncos, who are 6-2. Kansas City, who's 5-3, is in second place. San Diego, losing, made them 5-4 and are now in third place. And the 0-8 Oakland Raiders.
Man, I'm. Oh God, who do I have for this one? I think I'm gonna go with the Broncos because I mean I would like to see the Chiefs pull an upset, even though I don't like them a lot.
Right.
It's just Peyton Manning game too strong. The Chiefs are they're gonna figure him out at some point, but just not now. So Broncos.
I agree. I feel like the Broncos have the best offense, and their defense is highly underrated. And
Underrated? I think they're rated just enough. Because I mean
they're
it's them right behind Detroit. I couldn't get any more. You can't get underrated more
yeah,
than
but
that.
it really, if you think about it, when you talk amazingly good defensive clubs, the first team that you don't think of, the first team that you think of is Detroit or Seattle or Pittsburgh or Baltimore or something like that. You don't think Denver Broncos
I
have
think Denver
amazing.
now. But oh, speaking of Pittsburgh, they retired that number for Mean Joe Green.
Yep.
That was
It,
cool. He set the tone for the Steelers. But yeah, moving back on
next,
subject. Yeah,
next up, the AFC East, the New England Patriots are 7-2. The Buffalo Bills 5-3. The Miami Dolphins 5-3. Or the New York Jets, who are 1-8.
they are guaranteed a losing season now. But anyway, I've got the Patriots getting the number one seed in that. But the Dolphins and the Bills, one of them, they're playing great. They've got great defense. Pretty much all four of them have good defense. It's just the difference is it's Tom Brady with his out of this world offense and everybody else.
I feel it's going to be the New England Patriots as well, and I feel that the Miami Dolphins are going to be the first wild card
We'll
team.
get to the wild card teams after all this.
Yeah, but I mean, the New England Patriots are just a scary proposition for anybody, and I feel the Patriots are just going to go. I have this weird feeling that they're gonna win out. But the next up is the AFC North. First place Cincinnati 5-2-1. Second place Pittsburgh 6-3. Third place Cleveland 5-3. Last place Baltimore 5-4.
My God, everybody's in it. I'm gonna go probably with Steelers actually. With thanks to to Bryant, number 10 I think his number is. They've just like completed a great offense and they've already had this physical ugly defense with the help of being Joe Green. So I'm going with the Steelers. They're playing too hot right now.
And I feel that the Cincinnati Bengals are starting to reestablish themselves, and I feel like they're going to continue to reestablish themselves and win the division. I feel that that tie is going to come into play at the very end of this year, and I feel like Cincinnati is going to win
Oh,
because
that is totally reasonable.
and can you imagine the Steelers being like 11-5 and the Cincinnati Bengals being 10-5-1 and getting and winning the division over the Pittsburgh
That would
Steelers?
be so frustrating. Cause let's be real, it looks like you're gonna need to be 11-5 just to get a wild card spot in this division.
Yep,
How many teams in this division have winning records?
all of them.
Not all of them. Not all AFC teams.
Oh, not all AFC teams.
Not all, man.
No, you said division. I didn't.
No, I mean I
I
meant
thought.
the AFC as a whole. 11
Okay.
teams, I believe.
All right.
But let's go with the wild cards now.
The two wild
I'll
cards.
let you
Now,
pick one, and then I'll pick one. We go back and forth.
my first wild card is going to be the Miami Dolphins. They look scary on defense, and Tannehill is going to develop into a really good quarterback. The Dolphins are a team to look out for in the coming years.
Oh man, Bill, I have to agree entirely because they've got the number 3 defense in the league. And I will be honest, they feel like the Carolina Panthers from last year, where they had a mean defense and a very mobile quarterback. And let's make it even better for the difference between the Panthers and the Dolphins is that they also have a good rusher. And there's a rumor that Tannehill's he's being trained by Dan Marino. I think his
Well, Dan Marino's now unemployed. He doesn't work for CBS, so he can definitely be trained by one of the best.
Yep, and I mean, if that's true, well then that explains why he's doing so well. But I've got the Dolphins, but that mean defense factor in I say the best secondary in the league, and the fact that Tannehill he can run along with a great rusher, yeah, it just makes sense.
Now, my second wild card team, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, and this will be the number 6 team, is going to be the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, nice! That's a bold
The
prediction.
Cleveland Browns, because I feel that Brian Hoyer is going to keep this job for the rest of the year. And I feel like he's going to win just enough games to stave off Johnny Manziel, which is going to cause drama in Cleveland over this offseason. And who doesn't like seeing a little bit of drama?
You. Oh God, Bill, that's the bold. I think that's the bold prediction. No, actually, no. We still haven't even got to the NFC side. I've got a bold one there too. I've got I've got Cincinnati because of that tie. You see, Bill, I think Cleveland would have a chance, but this is where my view of the tie comes into play. It's gonna knock off the Ravens, the Browns, and the Bills from getting into the playoffs. That tie is going to be the savior for them. So,
It's already the savior of them right now. They're
yeah.
at the top of the division.
So imagine just like frustrating everyone else in their division, but also another team from another division, the Bills. But yeah.
Right.
So let's go to the other side. Flip it over.
Now the other side, I feel this is going to be the easier discussion a little bit.
I think it's going to go really to the wild
And
cards that are tough.
what I'm going to what we'll start with is
The disappointing one.
the NFC West.
Oh, really?
The Arizona Cardinals, the Arizona 7-1, Seattle 5-3, San Fran 4-4, and St. Louis 3-5.
Bill, you don't know how pleasant that sounds. San Fran at 4-4 on their way to a possible 8-8 year. Oh, Arizona, man! Arizona's getting that number 1 seed. They are 4-0 against the NFC East, and gods, they're gonna go far.
I agree. Arizona looks just scary.
Oh, we
They
forgot to
look.
predict who would be the 1 through 4 for the playoff spot for the AFC. We'll do that afterward. All right.
Well, the division winners that we predicted earlier would be 1 through 4.
Really? So Brady or Patriots 1, Broncos 2.
I would say Patriots 1, Broncos 2,
Colts 3.
Colts 3, and then the Cincinnati Bengals 4 for me.
I got Steelers for 4. 4?
Yeah.
Or it might not
Yeah.
be because the Steelers beat the Colts, but
Then
maybe.
5 would be Miami and 6 would be Cleveland.
Miami for me and 6. How's that for a bold prediction that the Chargers aren't getting in, even though everybody thought they'd have that the 5 spot guaranteed?
Yep.
But let's go on.
All right. So now,
I said Arizona, so
and I said Arizona as well. That's definitely who I think is going to get the first seed.
all right.
That's almost guaranteed. All right. Next up, we're going to go to the second easiest division to pick, the NFC East.
That's
The
the
Phil-
easiest?
The second easiest to pick, I feel.
Oh, God.
The Philadelphia Eagles 6-2, Dallas Cowboys 6-3, the New York Giants 3-5, or the Washington Football Team 3-6.
Damn, I've got the Eagles, the Cowboys. Oh, man, I don't think they're on the way to an 8-8 thing. But, oh, they really need Romo back, and they really need to get their act together and figure a way out to cover up that defense's flaws, like you said. So I've got the Eagles. It just they're too fast paced, man.
What number seed do you have them being?
I won't say. The Eagles 3. They're gonna be number 3. You'll like who my number 2 is. And
I got the same number 3 seed. The Philadelphia Eagles will win this division. I feel like they're gonna go 10-6 and win the division, and the Cowboys are gonna go 9-7.
I
At
can
best.
agree to that. Hey, at least it ain't 8-8. It's a better than an 8-8.
Next up, the third easiest one to pick, the NFC North. The Detroit Lions lead the division 6-2. Green Bay 5-3. Minnesota 4-5. And the Chicago Bears, who were just awful.
That's
3-5.
Okay, Bill, I want you to say this one since this is your division.
Obviously, I am picking my Detroit Lions as the number 2 seed with a bye in the playoffs.
Yep. All right. Is that all your reason, or do you have more?
The Lions have an offense that's gonna get even better, and their defense is legit nasty.
Good. I agree entirely because I've said it many times. I think I said it in the podcast again today. It seems I'm going to say it every time. That game, the final game, Lions-Packers, will be the final Sunday night football game, and it's going to come down to that. What I said many times, I believe defense is better than offense, and that's going to be the difference for that game. Detroit will beat the Packers at their place, and for the first time, clinch a playoff berth and a bye week. They'll clinch the number 2 seed. When is the last time they've clinched a division, Bill?
The Lions?
Yes, the Lions.
A long time.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
It was in the 1990s.
So yeah, for the first time in about 20 years or more, they're going to clinch they're going to clinch a division spot, and they're getting a bye week at number 2.
And here we go, the hardest division to pick.
This is sarcastic,
The
isn't it?
NFC South. The 4-4 New Orleans Saints are in first place. Second place, 3-5-1 Carolina. Third place, 2 games out, mind you. The Atlanta Falcons, 2-6. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are still mathematically alive for this division, even losing 4 straight games, 1-7.
I've got the Saints. They know they need this if they want any hope of winning at least one game. They've got to win this. So I've got the Saints because the Panthers, they need better weapons. They need a lot of things.
Here, you want to hear what I'm going to say?
Oh God, I know where this is going. Just say it.
I'm predicting that the Atlanta Falcons will win this division.
Holy shit! Wow.
They're going to go 7-9 and win this division, and the Saints are going to fall apart, and Drew Brees is going to have a horrifyingly bad year this year. I feel that 7-9 is going to win this division, and I feel like Atlanta's going to fight for their playoff
You
lives.
know what? I love that, Bill. I love that prediction. I want you to be right. I
I
want to be
I
wrong.
I feel this is the year that there's gonna be a 7-9 team in the playoffs. I feel it's the Atlanta Falcons. They have a team. They just can't stop shooting themselves in the foot.
Okay,
But
except for
I
that
feel
last
like
time. You were cool with that last time.
I'm pretty cool with them losing in London. That they got to 2-6, and literally they could be 3-5 and one game out right now. They're only 2 games out, so they're right in the thick of things.
All right. Okay, Bill. Are you ready for the wild card teams?
Our wild card teams, yes,
Who do you got
and
first?
I have as the number 5 seed the Seattle Seahawks.
Whoa. Interesting. Let's hear your reasoning.
I feel that the Seattle Seahawks just won't be able to catch the Arizona Cardinals, and their defense is not as good as last year.
Oh yeah, and their offense is losing it now. So, my turn?
Yes.
I've got a bold one. I know you won't like this, Bill, but I've got Green Bay getting the 5th spot. I don't think they're going to lose any games aside from um, the Eagles maybe, the Patriots for sure, and the Lions. How many losses would that be if they all lost those? How much would that be? They've lost
If
2 games or 3 games right now.
they would finish the season 10-6.
Yep, and that's a better record than my 6th spot.
And my six, I know you're not going to like this one, but my number 6 slot, and it's not going to be the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be the Green Bay Packers.
Wow, you got them as the 6th. They're going back to New Orleans.
They're going to go and play the number 3 slot.
Wait, I thought 6 plays 4.
6 plays 3 and 4 plays 5.
Oh, so in my case, Green Bay's going to the Saints, right? Or did I get it wrong?
Yep, and in
They're going to the Eagles.
my case, Green Bay gets to play the Philadelphia Eagles, and both have no defense.
Oh God, shootout. But okay, so either way, they're gonna play a game or play a team that we both think they're gonna lose to.
Yep.
I like the sound of that. Okay, so my last one is actually the Dallas Cowboys, because my bold prediction is that the 49ers and the Seahawks are going to kill themselves winning each other once, and the Cardinals are going to beat them both once or maybe twice. So they're going to lose so many division games, they're just going to be knocked off.
Yep.
So that's why I think literally it's going to be the Cardinals above the other players or the other teams who are going to make themselves implode. Or actually no, the Rams have made Seattle and 49ers implode. That's just the beginning. So yeah, Cowboys are only going to make it because Seattle and the 49ers took themselves out. And they're going to play Philadelphia.
I can see that happening. I just feel that Dallas is going to implode themselves.
Well, I don't think they're. I think they'll lose to the Eagles at their place, so that doesn't matter.
Alright, so one last thing we have on our docket. Let me get the schedules up here.
I've got the schedules. Are you ready?
Hold up. Yep.
Do you want to talk about this Thursday night game, even though we already did?
We already did, and I'm pretty sure I picked who?
Bengals. We both picked
Bengals.
Bengals, I think.
Yeah. I think I picked the Bengals, but I said that it would be a very close game. I'm pretty
I
sure
think it's
that's
going to
what
be
I said.
one-sided for the Bengals because it's just the jungle.
I feel that the Browns could easily win this game.
I think they'll beat them the next time around, but just not now. So yeah.
All right, so
Start
the
us
1
off.
o'clock game. The 1 o'clock game is Kansas City at Buffalo.
A defensive slugfest. This is the first of many defensive slugfests. Let's be real here. I've got I've got the Chiefs winning. They're gonna take care of business. It's just because Jamal Charles gonna run in, and the Bills, if they had a run game, even if they did, the Chiefs have not allowed a running touchdown. So yeah, I've got I've got the Chiefs winning this game.
The Chiefs are going to put that arrowhead right down Jim Schwartz's middle of his eyes.
Right between the eyes.
Right between the eyes. Oh man. Or Alex Smith is just going to throw a football in his general direction. But I have the Chiefs.
All right, next game.
Next up, the Miami Dolphins at the Detroit Lions.
I'm actually going to be able to watch this game, so yeah, good job, Lions. You're getting on my TV more and more, and I love that. I've got the Lions winning because they're getting their weapons back, and it's going to be a good game. But it's going to be low scoring because they've just got two good defenses going at each other.
Two amazing defenses, two amazing offenses. It's going to be an amazing game to watch. I'm picking my Lions to beat the Dolphins in a 30-27 type game.
Wow.
I feel like both defenses are going to kind of give to each other.
All right, next game.
Next up, the London game,
The
Dallas Cowboys at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The only way that they're going to sell out a Jacksonville Jaguar game
Probably,
is when they go to London.
It's the final London game of the year. I've got the Cowboys winning, regardless if Romo's back or not, but they better not take the Jaguars too lightly. DeMarco Murray's going to get finally back on track with his 100-yard games, or 100 yards per game. So yeah, Cowboys.
If Brandon Weeden starts this game, I'm predicting a loss.
Wow.
If Tony Romo starts this game, I'm predicting a win. Alright, so that's how it's going to go. If Tony Romo's playing, I predict a win, and that they'll win pretty decently. If Brandon Weeden starts this game, the Jaguars are going to just load up against the running game, shut DeMarco Murray down, and I feel that the Jaguars will win against the Cowboys.
Wow. So you got either upset of the week or just a slaughter.
I think it's upset of the year or a slaughter.
God, upset of the year. Nice. That's the boldest prediction you've got this week or this whole year.
Next up, the San Francisco 49ers at the New Orleans Saints.
Oh man, Bill, as much as I want here's the thing. I hate both of these teams. Who do I pick? I'm going with the Saints cuz they're at home.
I'm going 49ers because I want to see that division go 7-9.
And don't forget, you probably want to see the other Ryan brother cry.
Exactly. I mean, it's in my nature. A bunch of loudmouths. I mean, seriously. When he lost that game to the Lions and he's throwing his clipboard, a wave of joy just swept over me. It was an amazing thing to see.
Oh, God damn it, Bill. What are we going to do with you? Alright, let's go with the next game.
Next up, the Tennessee Titans at the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, God, you need to ask me. The Ravens are going to take care of business, destroying the Titans 41 to 10.
The Ravens are going to annihilate them. I agree. I don't see how Tennessee is going to score more than 10 points. I agree. And I can see Joe Flacco getting really ticked off after he's been embarrassed 2 straight weeks. So, yeah,
Yep.
It's Ravens. Next up, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the New York Jets.
Oh, God. Bill, after this game, we should apply for the Jets GM job. Pittsburgh Steelers just gonna go 51-17 against the Jets.
Rex Ryan.
Goodbye.
It makes me feel joy whenever you look at the field in astonished wonderment, and you're gonna wonder how Ben Roethlisberger throws 8 touchdown passes against your horrifically bad defense. The Pittsburgh Steelers will win this game.
Nice.
Next up, the game of the week, the Atlanta Falcons at the Tampa Bay
Would you
Buccaneers.
call this an upset? I've got Tampa Bay getting their second win.
Oh man,
Mike Evans from Texas A&M gonna get that money, taking 2 touchdowns again against the Falcons' horrific defense. In fact, who's got the worser defense? Barely by one, Atlanta. It doesn't get any more glass cannon than this, folks. I've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers getting their second win.
I have the Atlanta Falcons beating the Buccaneers and Matty Ice just playing really well, and you just never know what Tampa Bay team you're getting.
I'm
Oh, I would not want to be this team coming up. Okay, the Denver Broncos at the Oakland Raiders.
Okay, real talk. The Raiders were just so pesky to the Seahawks last week. They were trailing by a touchdown for part of the game. But oh god, two Super Bowl teams, one after another. Give these guys a break. You could bury all the footballs in the world and it won't make a difference. Broncos. Peyton Manning's pissed right now.
The Broncos were embarrassed by the Patriots. They're going to embarrass the Raiders as payback for it. So obviously, I'm going Broncos.
Yep.
Next up, St. Louis Rams at the Arizona Cardinals.
God damn, as much as I think the Rams have been fucking around with every divisional team, it's not gonna work this time. The Cardinals, but Rams, I think are gonna have one special team play that's gonna piss off the Cardinal fans.
I'm going Arizona. Literally, you can't beat them when they're playing in Arizona right now.
It's too hot.
And
They're already too hot to handle, and you're already in that hot climate.
and hell, their uniforms are red too. It's just too much red.
And oh, by the way, one other thing. There's another reason why they want to get to the Super Bowl. They'll have home field advantage.
I doubt that would be the first time that would ever happen. I doubt it's not happen.
Never know.
But next up, the New York Giants at Seattle.
Oh God, Bill, do I dare? I think I do. I'm calling upset of the week. New York
Oh.
Giants gonna take care of the Seahawks in a last-minute touchdown drive. Because after seeing how much the Cowboys and the Raiders can get past that loud sound, I don't think the Seattle Seahawks are invincible at home anymore. I've got the Giants for my upset of the week.
The Giants didn't look good yesterday on Monday Night Football. They're not going to look good this Sunday as they play the Seahawks, who are starting to kind of hit their stride, and that crowd's going to be off the chain. I feel like they're going to make the Giants game a statement game, and I think they're going to win.
Hey, do you remember last year when Seattle went to the Giants and they shut them out there?
Yeah.
Do you think that might happen here?
Yep.
Oh wow! All right, let's go to the final game
Next.
of
Next
Sunday.
Next up, the Sunday night game, the Chicago Bears at the Green Bay Packers.
Let's be real. They should have moved Dolphins and Lions to this spot because we saw how much the Packers took care of the Bears like it was hunting season. They should have switched the games. Let's be real. Missed opportunity. Packers gonna take care of business again in a blowout against the Bears. Maybe a shutout, maybe.
No, I have it a little bit of a different way. I think this is going to be one of those shootouts, and I feel like both defenses can't stop each other. But I think the Packers will have the ball last and they'll win. So Packers.
That's fair.
Next up, the Monday night game, the Carolina Panthers at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh God, Eagles gonna take care of business. This Panthers team is battered and broken. I've got the Eagles just continue to take care of business. Mark Sanchez is going to further establish his reigns as the future of the Eagles.
And the Eagles, I just like I said, I don't have any faith in that division, and seriously, the Eagles are the better team.
Yep. So before we go, let's cover the next Thursday night game in case we're not around for that time.
All right. The Thursday night game is the Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins.
Is this their first game this year against each other, or is it their second?
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna check right now. Let's see.
Oh, nope, they've played each other this year.
Oh, and they won.
And Buffalo won.
And if that's the case, the Dolphins are gonna take care of business. That defense, they've got two mean defenses, but the Dolphins just have it, and they know when they lose to the Lions, they need to rebound fast, and this is their chance. So take out the Bills and get those extra days. So I got Miami.
Who knew Flipper could be a cannibal? He's gonna rip off Jim Schwartz's arm and beat him in the face with it.
So you got Miami.
Exactly. I feel the Miami Dolphins defense, no offense to Jim Schwartz, is 10 times better than the Buffalo Bills defense.
Let's not.
Their offense is 10 times better than the Bills offense. And overall, in every position, they're just overall better.
And let's not forget, they've got the best running quarterback this year so far, and a great rusher, too. So, yeah.
Yep.
All right, that's it for this week. Do you have any final thoughts, Bill?
Just thinking about my Flipper ripping off Jim Schwartz.
God damn it, Bill. Stop thinking bloody thoughts.
I was just thinking about that. I was like, where the hell did that one
All
come
I
from?
know is that I've got to see 3 straight Lion games. This last one that we had in London, this next one against Miami, and then the Arizona Lions game. I am so happy. And then isn't Thanksgiving the week after? Oh no. I get to see 5 games because they're going to show the Patriots one, obviously. And then there's Thanksgiving. I get not 1, not 2, not 3, but 5 Lions games. Bill, this is a great year for me.
It's an atypical year for you.
Bill, that means the Lions are doing great, and we're both okay with that.
And that's how I want it to be.
Yep. So, yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. I'm going to be enjoying these weeks. Hope you guys too. Hope Bill does too. Time to say goodbye, Bill.
Oh, man. Hope y'all have a fun time watching some football.
Yep, I am too. So, see you guys next week. We prepare for week 11. See you guys later.